South Korea has drawn up its first extra budget under the brand new government with the ultimate goal of stimulating economic recovery. Now, the budget also includes cash handouts to all citizens. Our correspondent Kim Do-yeon starts us off.
The second round of a supplementary budget bill this year, the first of its kind under Lee Jae-myung's presidency, has been drafted and is set to go to the National Assembly next week. President Lee, presiding over a cabinet meeting on Thursday, took a final look.
작년 12월 3일 이후로 심리적 위축이 심해서 있던 손님도 얼마 안 되던 손님도 다 떨어져 나갔다고 현장에서 너무 어려워합니다. 다행히 최근에는 조금 분위기가 개선되고 있긴 한데 어쨌든 본질적으로 우리 서민기업, 서민들이 겪는 고통이 매우 큰 것 같아요. 국가 재정을 이제 사용할 때가 됐습니다.
The size of this supplementary budget is 30.5 trillion Korean won, or a bit more than 22 billion US dollars. 15.2 trillion of that will be going into boosting the economy through stimulus. 5 trillion will be going to stabilizing people's livelihoods. 10.3 will be for revenue adjustment for the nation's fiscal situation. This means 20.2 trillion will be for direct spending by the government, with 19.8 trillion being debt. Going into the details, 15.2 trillion for economic stimulus will consist of 10.3 trillion of that being relief to everyone in a different form of the recipient's choosing. 1 trillion will go into boosting discounts and other needed aspects. 2.7 will go into support for the construction sector, as it's currently one of the hardest hit industries with close links to the employment of working-class citizens. President Lee has been pushing for cash relief to everyone for some time now since his lawmaker days. But then conservative government have been saying a universal payout is not right due to the financial pressure on the nation's fiscal status, and selective support is better.
만약 일반 원칙으로요. 만약에 우리가 어떤 제도를 시행하는데 필요한 경비다 이게 라고 하면 그 경비 지출에 따라서 혜택을 보는 반사적 이익을 보는 사람은 누구여야 하느냐? 그건 가난한 사람이어야 하느냐? 아니면 세금을 많이 내는 부자여야 하느냐? 저는 어떤 필요에 의해서 경비를 지출한다고 하면 그 반사적 혜택은 최소한 국민들이 공평하게 혜택을 누리는 게 맞다고 생각해요.
The draft did go with a universal payout, but for those who need it, the more they will receive. The top 10%, approximately 5.12 million people, will receive a one-time payment of 150,000 Korean won, or around $100 US. And the biggest group of citizens of around 43 million people will receive the first payment of 150,000 Korean won, but will get an additional 100,000 in the second round. The lower levels will receive more in first-time payments, with the social welfare recipients later getting 500,000 in total. As for stabilizing livelihoods, money will be spent on debt relief for small businesses, as well as boosting employment and taming inflation. Now the ball is in the National Assembly's court, with the government's draft being transferred on the 23rd. Lawmakers will be reviewing the bill, but with the ruling Democratic Party holding the majority on the floor, the bill won't face many obstacles. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang
Now we have our Kim Do-yeon in the studio to give us more details on this supplementary budget bill. Good evening, Do-yeon.
Good to be here.
So Do-yeon, the spending vouchers for Korean nationals has been a hot topic for the entire nation as it affects every Korean national, including us, both of us.
Right.
Tell us more.
Right, I mean, it's something, as I've said in the report, that President Lee has been pushing for since his opposition leader days. And as we heard, he believes strongly in the government spending more during these hard times, with benefits going to everyone. Also, this is to boost spending. One thing to clarify is that it's not in the form of cash, it's spending vouchers. So there are 3 ways to receive them: local district vouchers, a prepaid check card, or directly to your credit or check card. Now, it will be to boost domestic spending, so it's not for those who are going to travel abroad. Also, while the specifics aren't out yet, they are going to have an expiration date So far, the government has said 4 months, but that detail will be decided at the National Assembly. On top of this, there will be other discounts to make sure people spend more here in Korea.
We aim to achieve both goals, providing swift support through phased payments and tailoring assistance based on income levels. An additional 600 billion won will also be allocated for local gift certificates, bringing the total issuance to a record high 29 trillion won. The discount rate when purchasing these certificates will also be raised from a maximum of 10% to 15%.
Doyeon, let's focus on the government's financial status. Now, I do have to say some people may be worried about the additional debt. What does the government have to say about that?
Right, the government did admit that the debt had risen and the fiscal balance rose. But take a listen to the second Vice Minister for Economy and Finance again.
However, looking at past cases and international comparisons, we don't see the current level as posing a serious risk just yet. Efforts to ensure fiscal sustainability will continue in parallel.
The government says it tried to be careful with the financing for this supplementary budget. It secured 5.3 trillion won by reshuffling spending priorities and another 5.5 by tapping into available funds and adjusting how much will be issued in foreign exchange bonds. That allowed them to keep additional bond issuance to 19.8 trillion won, minimizing the burden on taxpayers. Still, despite those efforts, the fiscal deficit widened from 3.3% to 4.2% of GDP, and the national debt ratio also inched up. But the finance ministry says that what's more important right now is responding to urgent economic needs.
Indeed, Doyeon, thank you for coming in and for that thorough wrap-up.
Thank you for having me.